The use of technology is so, well, it's just part of who we are. Certainly for our young people today, everyone has a smartphone. And to quote one of our dear colleagues and mentors in this, he said, why not use that smartphone to actually be smart? So I wanted to talk with you about what it means to incorporate the use of the smartphone and how you begin to incorporate technology, the use of technologies in songwriting.
There are a myriad of apps that you can use, but it all breaks down to the elements of a song. How you want the melody expressed, how you want the rhythm expressed, how you want the bass expressed, how you want any special effects or anything to enhance the song. The technology is just the visual representation of what's happening musically.
How have you incorporated so that everybody in the classroom has the opportunity to engage?
There are many ways. I've put students in groups before. Say if I have 5 or 6 laptops available and I'm using GarageBand, one group is working on using loops or building a drum groove. One person is working on the horn parts. One person is working on trying to record the melody. You can have group projects. You can set students up to do things individually. If they have headphones, you set the parameters and then they're working independently. Then you go around and you check individual work at a certain point. Maybe you have a timer on the board. We've sat in a circle and done it all with one computer at the board. Maybe we only have it's projected and we build the song together that way. The latter is harder to maintain if any behavioral issues arise, because that's expecting a full class to be engaged and invested, because it's only one person working at a time. So you will have to know your classroom to know if that would work for you.
So I would imagine too that there may be some leadership opportunities here. When you spoke to the small groups, maybe it's an opportunity to assign somebody to be, say, the producer.
Captain or the producer or the MD.
The MD.
You know, start introducing musical language, music director. There's also a chance to incorporate written notation, because once you sequence something, you can see how it's written just with the click of a button.
What would you say is a way for the person who's not necessarily comfortable in using technologies to step into that?
There's nothing wrong with asking for help. A lot of times when it comes to technology, students are right there at the cutting edge. They know what app has come out. They know what new iPhone is going to be released. I don't know, so I learn from my students all the time. I'll ask them, what have you heard about building a beat? What have you heard about this application or this application? And they'll tell me. And it's a great transfer of information.
That's interesting. I remember recently we had a student panel that we were working with, and one of the students said that they were given a challenge to create an entire 1950s style band, dance band, like a jazz band work for multiple instruments, a full band, stage band, but that there were limitations to the technology, and so he figured out how to hack, I guess, if you will. But that was a wonderful learning experience for all of us, because I was thinking, wow, would there be any other people, had he been in a classroom situation, who could have said, hey, I know some other software, this is how we could do it. You know, he taught himself how to do some transcription, just being an active listener, and put all of this into one big score, and how that could have been a way in which a teacher could engage that student and multiple students in that whole process.
With technology, there are going to be active participants and there are going to be bystanders. So even if you're a bystander, you're still engaged. Just because you're not doing the physical action doesn't mean that you're not a part of the process.
So can you walk us through an experience that you've had using technologies in the classroom?
For my Motown ensemble, I had a student create a track. He created the track all on his own. Then I went into the studio with my vocalist and we recorded all of the background parts. Once that was finished and mixed, then we went back to the ensemble and we all had to learn how to play with tracks. And that's a valuable experience for any musician because 95% of professional shows occur with Pro Tools tracks or Logic or whatever DAW you're using. So if you want to be a paid gigging musician, you have to have that competency. And it comes back to being in rhythm and having a good sense of time, which is a quality that every good musician should have.
That's awesome. I would think too that, well, two things. One, what I'm noticing is that besides just sampling, just the creation of having tracks has become something that's really a part of composition and composing and writing. So it's almost as if this is, in a way, another instrument, if you will, that comes into the composition or the songwriting space, where you can have all kinds of sounds and what have you that could be part of a writing experience.
It's an additional element and it's an additional layer.